Welcome to another Ramble Radio.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yes.
But also
Yeah.
video.
Is it?
Also video.
Is it now? Also the vids, you say?
Also the vids.
Man, now this is 309, baby.
Oh,
30, and you
309.
think it's just you and I.
of course.
Back from Arkansas?
With a quick stop off in Georgia?
Cody Villafania, everybody. We don't know. So
Tennessee?
Cody,
Did you stop in Tennessee at all?
we know that this is. I don't know if we know you know, but it was when we were recording our ramble yesterday.
Yeah. I mean, this is all old news to you.
This is all old news to you. But we saw footage of your lady friend Magic the Gathering being interviewed in New York City in a limo by a right-wing broadcaster who she then kissed when the interview ended and has confirmed they are dating.
Yeah.
And we thought, oh my God, what a knife in the back for
Devastating
Cody
blow.
after all you've done. And then we just, did we hear this or did we just assume?
I don't know if we speculated, we heard it, wishful thinking.
That you're rebounding with Sarah Huckabee and that she frequently lets number twos fly while you have sex. Is that's
While
it's happening? She's just sitting there like, they just a couple turds, don't mind nothing.
Well, with Margie.
Yeah.
Well,
Did
Margie.
you see the work?
He's
I
still
did?
calling her Margie. Jesus.
Did you see the work I did getting around 60 minutes? I mean,
Amazing.
come
That
on.
was,
I mean,
and for her to do this to you.
For her to do this?
This is all part of the plan, guys. I mean, this is all part of the construction
It's
of
all
it
part
all.
of
I mean, you're playing 10-dimensional chess with us, I guess.
I
Yeah.
guess, see, silly us for not knowing what's really happening.
If you think I didn't set that moment up on
Wow.
Newsmax or wherever it was,
Oh,
Okay.
Shit. The man who pulls the strings right here. That's
she knows that it means nothing if it's for politics. You know what I
right.
mean?
Right. It's
yeah, of
all's fair.
Of course.
And as
That
for
realm.
the Huckabee,
Hucks.
I can't comment on that.
Oh shit! So,
It's a
Eddie,
HIPAA violation. Can't do it.
we had it misconstrued completely.
Yeah.
It's Cody lets them know what's
Yeah.
going on and what's going down. That's all right.
We don't. We obviously don't know the real Cody.
We don't.
We don't.
We're getting bits and pieces.
Bits and pieces, but I don't think we'll
It's
ever
fine.
truly know.
It's fine. By the way, look at that new part. Look at that.
Woo, look at that.
Transformers the movie poster that Cody told me about. The Pac-Man neon lights right there. The Nintendo. Well, it's not the actual issue, but it's the one that sent parents scampering for their lives with Simon Belmont holding the severed head of Dracula.
Oh,
For basically the cover of a kid's magazine. He's holding Dracula's severed head, and the eyes are still glowing on Dracula's severed head. For the cover of a children's magazine, basically. So that was
and we can blame every school shooting on that.
on that right there.
Absolutely.
That right
That's
there.
the
Man.
patient zero for school shootings.
It is. It really is. Now, do you mind if I share a story with you all?
Please
Because
do.
I just was taking a trip down memory lane.
Yeah.
I can do a shameless plug here. While on my Twitch stream,
Okay,
twitch.tv/Retro Rocha, which, whatever.
check it
I
out.
want to go. I'm not forcing you.
No,
Your Ramble membership does not hinge on that. But I was thinking of it like, and when I get to the punchline, now maybe I've told this story on another podcast, maybe on the Ramble, but if I have, it's been years. And when I get to the punchline, you'll know why these things are always going to be funny. And so anyway, so I went to a very inexpensive Catholic high school back in Texas.
okay.
And we had to take a morality class, which I don't think.
Oh, that's good.
And it was taught by a guy. We're just going to change the names, okay? Even though I think he's long dead. It was taught. We're just going to call him Father Francis, okay?
Father Francis, all right.
Father Francis, who
Okay.
He was from Chicago, and he talked just like this. and I'm not bragging. I just happen, his impersonation just falls right into my wheelhouse. And so much so that my crowning achievements, well, I've never done another prank call, was, I think it was right after graduation, senior year, I called the librarian of our school pretending to be Father Francis, and he bought it.
Right.
And I got him
I think you told me this story.
I got him to say the most racist shit. It was anyway, but Father Francis taught morality, and his claim to fame amongst us, I don't know if this is a legacy he wanted to leave behind, but was that when he grew up in Chicago, he lived in an orphanage, and he had to suck a dick for a pair of shoes. Why you would tell this story to high school?
How bad do you need a pair of shoes?
Is right. Is beyond me. And he would always, and so we went to lunch.
I would MacGyver some cardboard boxes before I
you go there.
sucked a dick
You go
for a
there.
pair of shoes.
It's so he.
Like, I think he wanted to suck a dick, and shoes were just a bonus.
I think it was because the orphanage wasn't like an outdoor orphanage. It wasn't like they were just sleeping in the rain. Like and so he anyway. So one of our friends at lunch break, first semester, junior year, we had him second semester. One of our buddies comes out of his class first semester just looking mortified. And we're like, dude, what happened? Because I was just in Father Francis's morality. I'm like, oh, what happened? Dude, he told us about how he had to suck a dick for a pair of shoes. And we're like, what the fuck is happening? And so we are now counting down the hours until second semester begins. And because it was me and like my 4 buddies all had his class at once. Like, we were like, oh, fuck, this is going to be. And I think I told y'all, but he also he made it a point to show his morality class, high schoolers, the movie Nuts with Richard Dreyfuss and Barbra Streisand.
This all sounds made up.
Cody, have you seen Nuts?
I have not seen Nuts. No.
So the premise is, this is what he showed to high school students in a Catholic morality class. Barbra Streisand is a prostitute who gets raped, and she murders her rapist, who was played by Leslie Nielsen, which is very awkward if you've seen Airplane or The Naked Gun. But
was this made after?
It was in between. It was before Naked Gun, after Airplane.
Wow.
And so Richard Dreyfuss plays a lawyer who's trying to defend her, and they're doing the insanity plea. And so anyway, this is a couple of pieces here. So when we got into Father Francis's class, he would always, like, at least 5 times during the semester, he goes, I have a very harrowing story I have to tell you personally about when I was in an orphanage in Chicago. And then me and all my friends were like, we just start, like, we're just covering ourselves. Like, oh God, we're not going to make it. And he would just bail. He saw her.
Oh, man.
And I learned to share. Moving on. He just. And then for whatever reason, we thought it would be funny if we asked him, hey, Father Francis, I heard you're going to show us a movie called Nut. We asked him that the first day. And he just went, no, it's nuts. It's plural, nuts with an S. And we would just ask him every
When are we going to see Nut?
A different person would ask him. And then finally, he's in the middle of a lecture, like week 2 of the semester. And he's like, and so that's why when Sigmund Freud, I'm like, Father Francis, when are we going to see Nut?
Did he snap?
He threw his podium. He goes, God damn it!
God damn it, in a Catholic
God
school?
damn it! I swear. It's nuts! He screams nuts over and over again. And then he writes in giant letters, N-U-T-S. And we're just like, we're not even hiding it now. We're just like holding each other. Like, my buddy Jeff and I were literally on the ground. We fell off our desks. We were just holding each other. We were laughing so hard. So he kicked us all out. And the dean hated him. The dean couldn't stand this guy. So when we walked into
Just blaspheming class.
right.
God
So we
damn
walk
it,
in,
dick
like, what-
sucking.
And the dean like, oh, what happened? Why are you guys in detention? We're like, well, Father Frank. Oh, fuck that guy. Go. He'd be like, go to the cafeteria, get a soda. I don't care. We're like, all right, great. Like, and so the next day, and this was the hard because even though we knew we weren't in that much trouble, we were still scared of detention, right? And so the next day was the hardest to not laugh because he goes, there's about 5 people in this class who are so goddamn immature that every time you hear me say the word nuts, you think I'm talking about balls or gonads.
Gonads.
It's the name of a goddamn movie. So he finally shows us nuts. And there's a scene when Barbara Streisand is in her cell and she's kind of having it's like a morose moment and she's looking at Richard Dreyfuss and she goes, maybe they're right about me. Maybe I am a nut. And we all like, nuts! We just screamed it. And so he kicked us out again. But anyway, so this is, I don't know what, but that's how just setting up the by the way, during this time, I found his phone number in the phone book.
Yeah.
Because he was the only person with his name in the phone. And we prank call that motherfucker every night. Just evil. But anyway, so
I'm sure he kept his cool every time that happened, right?
he would get so fucking mad.
Who the fuck is this?
He would scream, "You fucking motherfucker!" Oh God, it was. So, like, nothing could go right for this guy, And so he was having we had a senior retreat, our senior year, a retreat, and he was like in charge of it. I don't know why they gave this guy jobs, and he was in charge of this retreat.
Can you not fire a teacher from a Catholic school?
You should be able to.
Do they get like a 10-year where they like in public school where you can't get rid of them?
Right. But I think it was karma in a good for him, because apparently that school was built in like the 60s. And it was all like before the faculty were just nuns and priests. And we had our Spanish teacher, she was a student there in the 60s. And she was like, you all don't know how easy you have it now. She goes, because back then it was all priests who were the teachers, and all those priests were ex-cons who had found Jesus.
Oh.
And they said, like, if you acted up, they just took you outside and boom, right in the fucking hallway. They would just fuck you up. And like, if a student was acting up, so I'm hoping this was payback for the troublemakers of the '60s. But so anyway, we go to this retreat, and he hired some Christian musician to come and play for us. Saturday morning, Friday night, we all everyone snuck liquor in. Right, so everyone was fucking trashed. I didn't drink, but I stayed up to like 4 a.m. with everybody, and we were all everyone was like blitzed or just dead tired or both. Right at 8 a.m. Saturday when we had to go in for this assembly in this big ballroom at this place we were at, and he hired this Christian musician to come and play. And the guy was, oh God, he was like, guys, shh, just keep, okay, shh, come on, guys, come on, shh, because none of us wanted to be there, so everyone was just talking. So Mary and Joe, all right, come on, guys, shh, come on, shh. It was the worst gig of this guy's fucking life.
Whose dick do I gotta suck to get you guys to shut up?
Yeah, exactly. So then Brother Gray, whoa, almost said the right. Oh, Father Francis then says, all right, I got this. So he goes, we're going to lead you guys on like a guided meditation through the power of Christ and our Lord and Savior. And so he goes, so I'm going to have Steve here, the musician. Can you just play me just a little? So the guy's just kind of riffing and just playing. And he goes, I want everyone to close their eyes, okay? Just close your eyes. And I want you to imagine that you're walking down a path. And so we're all in the back. Me and my friends are all in the very back of this room. And everyone's lying down, right? They had chairs, but it was like kind of a carpeted floor. We're like, fuck this. Everyone was lying down. And he goes, I want you to, on this path, you walk for what feels like days, but you're not tired. And then you come across a fork in the road. There's 4 different paths, and you don't know which one to take. I swear to God, I remember that. So you take all of them. What? Like, what is he fucking talking about? And this is going on for like 20 minutes. And he goes, and at the end, and even the Christian musician guy's like, where are we going with this? Like, what am I? And he goes, and then at the end, you find a box, and you open that box, and inside that box is everything you've ever dreamed of. And right when he says that, our buddy Conrad, who's lying down with us, just lifted his leg and ripped the loudest, longest fart you've ever heard in your life. He goes, in this box is everything you've ever. It's just. And he stopped. It just ended it. He's like, it's like, so please meditate on that. And then he just left.
Probably when the fucking card started crying.
But farts, that was still the funniest. That's the hardest I've ever laughed. I mean, we all just sold the guy out too. All of us just rolled away from him, right? So we all rolled away, and we're just dying laughing. And he just, but I swear to God, that fart was at least 25 seconds. It was the longest, loudest fart you've ever heard. Oh, that's why. I don't know. I don't know if I want to have a kid because I'm afraid that they might just, like, what if all the payback goes to them? Because we served zero punishment for the
Karma
shit we
skips
did
a
to that
generation?
guy.
Is that what you're saying?
I'm hoping we served zero punishment for all that we did to that guy in high school. It was, oh God. But again, he was just fucking psycho who talked about sucking a dick. So
for shoes.
For shoes.
Who
So
does that?
I mean, I'm sure.
What was the lesson of that story, by the way? Like,
where's the lesson learned? I don't.
Yeah.
We never got to hear it. He never told. That's if I have one regret. I never heard the shoe story. He abandoned it.
Is it like don't value like
material
items? Like,
right?
is that
It was,
like
the way he made it sound was that like
Frostbite's not that bad.
I heard the story. Our friend told us the story, so we all knew it. And other students corroborate, like, yeah, that's what it was. And he basically said that he was in an orphanage and he needed shoes. And a guy said, you go talk to that guy. And he walked into the guy's office like, hey, I need a pair of shoes. And he goes, the guy like punched him and knocked him out unconscious. And he came to, and the guy was just like shoving his dick in his mouth. And like,
So he didn't voluntarily suck dick.
No,
shoes.
he was forced.
He was forced. What lesson is? Why you tell people this?
I wouldn't tell anybody that. I wouldn't tell my mother.
You tell
that.
a therapist, and that's about
That's
it.
it. I'm not telling high school juniors who are just going to use that as ammunition to fuck with me the rest of their fucking time at that school.
I don't understand where the lesson. Like, what do you learn?
I no clue. No.
If you need shoes, you keep your mouth shut.
You don't say a fucking thing. He told us that there are people born with tails. What else did he tell us? This is a morality class. It made no sense. He told us that, what was one of the things he said? He goes, one time I was taking a course on sexuality and I had to watch, they had a room full of televisions and it was all pornography. And the one that I was attached to, the one that I couldn't keep my eyes off of I thought it was so beautiful. It was a couple in their 80s that were having, I'm like, what? We were just like, what are you
Octogenarian sex?
Octogenarian sex. He was
Why?
jerking off to.
He was fucking spanking it to granny. The gilfs. Gilf porn.
The gilf and So I mean, I don't feel bad fucking with him when you know what I mean? Like I don't think he's has to be one of the top 5 weirdest teachers anyone has ever had in their fucking lives.
He just sounds like a tragic story.
Oh,
just... was this 80-year-old couple? I couldn't stop watching them boink.
I had to watch them fuck each other, and like it was just like, what are you? It was.
And so much semen for an 80-year-old man. I could not
I
believe.
just could not. Oh, he pronounced it semen, which is, I don't know why that was
So
funnier.
much semen.
Semen. He would say semen.
Just quarts of
But why
semen.
does he have to say it anyway to high school kids? Why does he have to say he's not teaching us sexual education? We don't need to hear.
Semen.
But yeah, the people were born with tails. He watched 80-year-olds fuck. It was the.
He sucked dick for shoes.
He sucked dick for shoes. So just in case you think you're having a bad day, you know,
You
just
could have had
know.
his life.
You could have had, and then you think, well, here's. I remember one time too. He played us. Oh God, I forgot this. He was like, you know, when I lived in Chicago, I was in my 30s, and I was driving around just feeling aimless in life, and a song came on the radio that touched me the way no other song ever had before or since. And I'd like to play it for you now. And I don't know why he did this. And he walks over to a cassette player. He presses play. And it's that fucking Foreigner. I want to know what love is. Like, this is the one? I mean, sure, it's an okay song, but this changed your life. He was an interesting fellow, old Father Francis.
Wow.
So there you go.
Sounds like a good guy.
A good dude. I heard he died. I don't know how. I heard he's no
There's no telling.
Couldn't have been good.
What if he died sucking it? He just went back to suck one more dick for shoes. And
I
then,
just need some slippers.
I need some loafers now. I need a pair of
I guarantee you, he was dead, and no one found him for at least a week and a half. At least a week and a half before he was discovered.
A neighbor was like, something really smells.
No one went there. No one visited him. He was alone. It was at least a week and a half before anybody found his body.
Something really smells here more than usual in that apartment.
God.
Oh, so Father Francis. There it is. Man.
Whew.
And I hate to do this, but I
Jesus.
guess we have a Father Francis of our own.
Skeletor.
Oh, God.
Jerry was talking about some fun he had back in his youth when he was at school.
Yeah.
Do you have any stories of just being a rowdy youngster in class causing trouble?
Eddie, that's a wonderful question, and I'm glad that you've asked me. I was what you would call a teacher's pet back in the day. I was everyone's favorite, except the nurse. Oh, that was, yeah, so she would always, say, hey, I would always pretend I had a fever, okay? And I would be sent to the nurse in elementary school, and
Right.
she'd be like, well, I'm going to take your temperature. And I'd be like, you have to do it up my ass, don't you? Huh? Come on. I would make her shove a thermometer up my ass, and then I would get her in trouble for sexual harassment. You see? It's great. And she was just a sweet woman. Everybody liked her, but oh man, the trouble she got into. It happened so many times. She was publicly executed. Right there. Isn't that great? It was a lot of fun. It's there's still some pictures of her execution. My lying about it. Everyone thought, oh, this poor innocent child is being harassed. So, yeah, it was a giant trial, and the execution was huge. And they chopped her head off in the only place big enough to fit all of eternity. A He-Man's mother's pussy! Huh? You guys? Huh? Little bit of zigging when you thought I'd zag, huh?
Even for Skeletor, that was pretty bad.
Pretty bad. I mean, they're all pretty bad.
She was just trying to do her job. And that's
And then he got her murdered, apparently. Jesus Christ. That's.
all right.
I wonder, sometimes I wonder what happened, and, if she's mad, if she held any grudges, what her final thoughts were. She was screaming, pleading for her life, and, I was in between laughing. I was like, no, she raped me. Nope, kill her.
Okay.
Not making us any better.
This is just worse. Jesus fucking Christ. Cody.
Cody.
Boy,
Yeah.
Sorry, man. That's.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
At least, see, that's why that must hurt when you miss the ramble, because you don't have to follow that on the rambles, at least.
Yeah.
There's that.
That's true.
It's
is
that one
true.
day a week where you don't have
You
it.
have to follow this.
Yeah, I need to more strategically plan my absences.
Right.
Cinesnob Cody on Twitter, Cinesnob Podcast, wherever you get podcasts. This week, we're covering the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Uh-oh.
We're covering Air, and we are covering Paint. Those
Okay.
movies.
Which is the if you have to pick one to go see out of those three, are you allowed to say which one?
I haven't seen Paint yet, but I'm just gonna say Air.
Hey, well,
that's
was
the one
Air
to see.
good?
It's fine. It's not amazing.
It's not
but
Argo,
fine.
right? It's not as good as
No. It's good though, but Super Mario Brothers is
how bad?
pretty bad.
But did you love Super Mario? Like, is it one of those movies where if you love the game, it's just like going and watching the game? Is that
No,
sort of what it is, or is it
it's
just
like,
a bad movie?
If you love the game, you'll like enjoy the Easter eggs in it, and
Yeah.
you will not give two shits about the story. It's like, even for a kids movie, it's a nothing story. It's just a waste of a property. So you'll like the Easter, you'll be amused by the Easter eggs, but
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
the movie is bad.
Well, because when I was and there's so many people who are defending. Well, not so many, but I've seen a few accounts be like, "Well, come on, it's a kids movie," and it's like, well, Puss in Boots is a 95% on Rotten Tomatoes, so it's
Yeah,
not
it
like
doesn't-
critics
yeah.
go in with their knives ready to chop apart a children's movie. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like
Right.
there are
And
great ones and there's shitty ones.
Yeah, people use that excuse all the time as if there aren't great kids movies, or that
Right.
a kids movie can't be great, or the bar should be lower. Like,
Right.
if the storytelling sucks, it sucks. I mean, this movie, like, there's a middle chunk of this movie that's like maybe a solid 20 plus minutes where Luigi is not on screen at all.
Oh, geez.
Just like off doing something else and not cut back to or anything. It's just he's sidelined for 70% of the movie, if not more.
Jesus.
Wow.
And it's a Super Mario Brothers movie.
Brothers, yeah.
So
Oh man. It's
Yeah.
I might still go see it just for the Easter eggs, I think.
I honestly, like, I don't know, like, unless you're like a Nintendo fanatic who would go
Right.
crazy over the smallest reference, or like
Right.
6 years old, I don't really know who
Who
would
it's
enjoy it.
for. Right, right. Man, that's rough. That's why I'm happy they haven't done a Zelda movie yet. I just don't do it. Just don't. Just let that exist where it is. It's all the games are good enough. That's all you need.
I'm interested in that Paint movie though, because it's not a direct story, a Bob Ross story. It's just
Right.
inspired by
Right.
a painter
right.
like Bob Ross who just goes off and does he's on some adventure, right?
Now,
Yeah.
does Air come across as exploitive at all with Jordan and his family? Or is it not that?
I don't think so, because I think they're in the driver's seat for a lot of it. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So,
Sure.
So in terms of like the leverage and negotiating power, and Jordan's, at that time brand allegiance to
Right.
Adidas and stuff like that. So
Because
No,
that
I
was, if
don't
I'm
think
not
so.
mistaken, Adidas was kind of like the king of the hill back then, right? They were
Converse wasn't
Or
it?
Converse, yeah, Converse.
Converse.
But apparently Jordan at that time was a big Adidas guy, and that's
Ah, wow,
yeah.
wow. Look at that. Well, yeah. So Air worth seeing in the theaters. Air.
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay, but if you wait for it to stream, not that you're not missing
No,
much.
you're not missing like a cinematic experience. not
Yeah,
at all.
yeah. Okay, cool. Well, there we go. Well, go follow the Cinesnob podcast. Let's get them on Rotten Tomatoes so we can fix Loquisha. We can fix Crocodile Dundee 2. The real problems. What's next for you, Cody, on Cinesnob? What's after these three?
After this week, Renfield is the following week.
Oh, have you heard any word on that? Because I hope it's good.
Not yet.
Yeah.
No early word yet.
You know,
but I
real
should be seeing
quick,
it next week.
I hope it's good, but to me it's like, and I guess that's a challenge, right? Is like, how are they going to bring anything to the table that what we do in the shadows hasn't already done? Because it's very much that same idea of the familiar, of the vampire, and you know what I mean? Like, obviously what we do in the shadows doesn't have Nicolas Cage just being
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage, so I'm sure that's going to be the selling point. But yeah, I'm wondering, like,
Yeah, I don't know. It may not lean as heavy into the silly tone, and maybe they
Right.
maybe it's like a slightly more grounded take.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't really know quite yet how they're gonna handle that, but that is a good point. I mean, I think you also have the idea that it is, I believe, like an actual Dracula
right,
story,
right,
as opposed to just random vampire. So I don't know.
Right. Yeah. Eddie, where can all the fine folk find you, man?
Before I say that, I would like to. I just found out yesterday, one of our ramblers, Michael S. Miller,
Yes, Michael Miller. I remember this. Yeah, that's
got
right.
diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer.
Let's go
and
fight for him, man.
They set up a GoFundMe for him. So if any of the ramblers out there can give any to help him out get through this bad time, please do that. I'll post the link on our Ramble Twitter and my Twitter too.
I
did
retweeted it last night. I'll retweet it again. Michael Miller, I gave a donation, man. If you're listening, we all got you, buddy.
We love you, buddy.
And you can fucking do this.
You can beat this shit. So
yeah.
Want everyone out there, any of the ramblers out there that didn't possibly see my social media post or Jerry's social media retweet, just if you can jump on there and at least share it if you can't. I know money's tight for people, but at least share it if you can't.
That'd be
so
great.
help out Michael. He's a good guy.
Yep, there you go.
And
this is for Michael S. Miller. You got this, man. We can do this. So, go post that up. I'll retweet it. Look for it on the Ramble fan page. Looking for it on our Twitter feeds, all that stuff. And you know where to find us. You know where to love us. We want you to have a great weekend. We'll see you next week with a new list, a new email, a new documents. It's Cody. I lost the Ramble document. It just disappeared on my Word page.
That's why what happened yesterday on the Ramble happened.
So I got to come up with a whole new one. So we'll be
sorry.
back. Yes, we'll be back next week. We love you all. Stay safe. Michael Miller, fight, baby. You got this. Take care, everybody.